Welcome to Thumbs Up South Florida, where we are showing you the heart of the people and what makes South Florida so important and so special. So we have an amazing guest this evening that I cannot wait for you to meet. He happens to be one of our local heroes. Of course, he is so humble that he would never say anything of the above, but after I have read all of his claims to fame, I think you will agree with me as well. Please welcome Timothy Heiser.
Thank you for
Timothy,
having me.
it's great to have you. Thank you so very much for coming, and I have got to tell you, you're quite decorated.
Thank you.
So, tell me first of all, what made you decide to get into firefighting?
Well, it's a very long story, so
Oh, it's okay. We
I'll
got a
keep
long
it short
time.
for you.
Oh, okay.
I come from a medical background. My father was a doctor, and being around that growing up, I always wanted to be a paramedic.
Mm-hmm.
So I had started working in an ambulance company about 27, 28 years ago, and the firemen that I was working with, firefighters I was working with, talked me into going to fire school. So I became
Really?
a paramedic, went to fire school, and
And how
here I
old
am
were you
today.
then?
I was a while ago.
Yeah.
I was in my late 20s.
Okay.
When I started,
Where did you start, by the way? Where did you go to school? And
well, I'm from New Jersey originally,
okay.
and then I went to school in Colorado, in Denver, a little Jesuit school called Regis University.
Oh my goodness! What took you all the way to Colorado?
Really, at the time, it was a good school. They had a good background for what I was looking for. I was 18. I liked to ski.
Ah, okay,
and
okay.
They accepted me.
Okay,
So-
well, there you go. That's the big one, right?
Yes,
They
it is.
accepted you. Wonderful.
So after that, most of my family moved to South Florida while
Mm-hmm.
I was in college. I don't know if it was to get away from me, but I found them. And we wound up.
They didn't get too far, did
no.
they?
So then I moved to Fort Lauderdale and went to school from there for my EMT, paramedic, and fire.
Oh, great, great. So you've been with Fort Lauderdale Fire Department?
With Fort Lauderdale Fire, it's been 20 years.
Okay.
And then I worked for Tamarack Fire Department for a couple years prior to that, and then I was with an ambulance service, which is kind of the way you have to go. You have to start at the very beginning of your career working for, you work in a hospital, you work for an ambulance company, and you slowly learn the ropes, and then you work your
Yeah.
way up to the fire department, if that's the route that you choose.
Uh-huh.
And I myself worked myself through all the ranks of the department up to deputy chief.
Really? Well, as I said, you're quite decorated. You've got a lot of bars on your chest there.
There's a lot of firefighters with a lot more bars than I have.
See, I told you he was going to be very humble. Very humble.
But, every single bar decoration that I have is the result of teamwork of the people that I work with. Nobody works alone.
What do they represent?
They all represent different things. There's a few that are, the dark blue ones are company, extraordinary company operations. Several of them are individual achievements. Several of them are employee excellence. And I left a couple off too because it starts to go too high.
All the way down his back.
And then, the certifications, their specialties. So usually you only wear them for dress, but they go everywhere. They show everything from whether or not you're on a SWAT team to on TRT, which is technical rescue, or hazardous materials, or really anything.
Wow, that is amazing. And as you said, you've worked your way all the way up through the ranks to get where you're at right now. I did not know, though, that you had to become a paramedic to qualify to be a fireman. Or was that just the way that you decided to take your journey?
It's the way I decided to go with, but it's also the way that it's the way things have gone in Broward County. You can still get hired in one or two agencies as an emergency medical technician. They really don't hire just straight firefighters anymore because you want to get the most out of what you have. When in the city of Fort Lauderdale, every single fire apparatus is staffed with paramedics. So they're all advanced life support units. So sometimes you may see a fire truck going somewhere and really they're going to a medical call because they're the closest. And they'll go there and they'll stabilize the patient until the ambulance, or what we would call a rescue, gets on scene. And that would be the transport unit. But even our fireboat has firefighter paramedics in there.
Wow. Well, that's really incredible. It's really broadened or narrowed your ability then of being able to be a firefighter. Because I remember a long time ago, volunteer firemen, and that was a big thing for men and women to go into.
Right. Well, that's what started it out, and there are still some volunteer agencies. We're 100% paid professional, and as we evolved in 1996, 95 into the Advanced Life Support Agency that we are today, and that basically when we brought paramedics in, we brought transport in, and it's the days of just being a firefighter are over, and a good percentage of our people have specialty certifications, whether, as I said before, hazardous material certified,
Wow.
TRT, dive rescue, high angle rescue, trench rescue, confined space rescue. We have medics that are on the SWAT team that are specifically trained for that.
Wow.
We have aircraft rescue. We do a little bit of everything for London.
You know something, I've got to tell you, thank God. I mean, you are a shining example of our tax dollars at work, and I'm so proud that you're out there and taking care of business. You're right there on the front line, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from not only myself, but also from Thumbs Up South Florida. Thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome, and I just would like to thank you and everybody at Thumbs Up and in South Florida that supports us, because if it wasn't for the citizens of the county and for me, the city, we wouldn't have all the great equipment that we have. But
Oh,
the
that's
support that we
great.
get is immeasurable, and without it, we wouldn't be able to function as we do.
Okay. Well, thank you again. This is Thumbs Up South Florida, where we bring to you the people that matter. And so thank you again.